The Media Institute commemorated World Press Freedom Day on Monday. The Media Institute of Southern Africa Director Mr. Nsukunyane said, in private media sectors, in most cases, editorial independence is determined by cooperatives that advertises with them, whereas in state media, it is hindered by political forces.
In other words, if your editorial, as the news day, is independent enough to say no, because such and such corporate advertises with us, that doesn't mean that as an editorial, when we report about such a corporate, we are going to report in a certain direction because such a corporate advertises with us. That's where the editorial independence starts. The editorial is such a key factor in any newsroom. And its freedom, its independence, that editorial, is of utmost importance, because it says that whatever you report about, whatever you report on, you'll be fair, you'll be impartial, you lack the biasness, you'll be objective. That is the independence that we are referring to when we are saying our media houses, our media has to be independent enough. Elsewhere, for example, in the state media, there are issues of political interference where the issue of editorial independence is not observant, it's not being observed enough because of the political influence, where now we see external forces, third forces coming into place to influence the direction of the editorial. That on its own says such a media house or such the state media lacks that freedom of to exercise the freedom that they should exercise. In fact, the independence that they should exercise insofar as their editorial is concerned.
Mr. Nsukunyane further said, absence of editorial independence and underpayment exposes journalists to a brown envelope in order to conceal information.
For years, we as MISA, we have advocated for independence of the press, independence of the media, because the situation as is, it exposes the journalists to brown envelopes as we speak. As things stand, where the country does not have any domestic laws, regulations, legal framework that sort of guides the media in a certain direction, that is domestic, that on its own exposes the journalists to brown envelopes. That's where people with finance are able to abuse the media, are able to abuse journalists, because they know that they can use their financial muscle to dictate the direction how the media should report on certain issues. It's a very unfortunate situation.
In conclusion, Mr. Nsukunyane said, to ensure that journalists get enough freedom of expression that advocate for the public, the NRA has adopted media policy, code of conduct and practice of media.
A week before we celebrate the World Press Freedom Day, like we are doing today, there is this milestone where we saw the National Reforms Authority adopting the media policy, the draft media policy, together with its code of conduct, the code of conduct, behavior and practice for journalists in Lesotho. So it's a step which we deem, why are we saying it's a milestone? Because as far as we can remember, from 1997 to be specific, Mr. Lesotho and others advocating for the freedom of the media, freedom of expression and of opinion. We have been advocating and lobbying for the media policy to be adopted, for the media policy to be approved by our cabinet of ministers. And then it's only now, this year, that there is that hope through the National Reforms Authority, where we saw for the first time where now the authority is saying that, okay, let's adopt the draft media policy.
This year's World Press Freedom Day theme, Information as a Public Good, serves as a call to affirm the importance of cherishing information as a public good and exploring what can be done in the production, distribution, and reception of content to strengthen journalism.